Welcome back to the channel, your host Hunter Pane reporting live from the wreckage of modern dating. Today we're diving into red pill content, the ideology that's convinced some guys they're Neo, but all they've really done is unplug their own relationships. Let's take a look at how this stuff went from eye-opening to why is my wife packing a suitcase?
What is the red pill, guys? The red pill essentially comes down to, I'm not going with the norm. I gotta be able to think outside of the box. Red pill aware, this is what it is. Stepping outside and looking at the truth. That's a very good thing, especially when it comes to women. The more you go against the grain, the more you start to think to yourself and not follow the masses, the more you can stand out to women. Because guess what? Guys are doing the same thing.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
All I believe in, guys, is being outstanding. And that's how every guy should be. Start looking at everything that you're being told and say, you know what? Is that how it really is? Is that the real truth? Don't just follow directions just because it sounds good.
So this dude breaks down what the red pill is all about. Honestly, some of it rings true, but not all of it lands. At the end of the day, it's not a one-size-fits-all manifesto. It really comes down to the individual, what resonates, what works, and what you're not about to drag into your life just because someone on the internet called it truth.
I cannot date a man that likes red pill content. Because red pill content is ruining the lives of young men. A lot of men are so afraid of being labeled a simp. They don't want to be labeled a simp, that they will not treat a woman well. They won't even compliment a woman. They won't even be nice to a woman because they are so afraid of being a simp. The last guy that I talked to was an avid red pill watcher, and he was the same man that friend zoned me and wanted me to chase him, and and I was wondering, I'm like, where is this jadedness coming from?
Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning, right?
Why is he talking like this, acting like this? And he was watching that red pill content. And I'm telling you, it's keeping you men single. It is keeping you single.
No, that's not at all true.
Half of the men that make this content are single men, or men that do not have a happy, healthy relationship.
So this lady's out here claiming red pill content is warping young men's minds, making them stingy with compliments and rude to women. Nah, I gotta push back on that. That's not all guys, just the ones she's run into. Sorry, but you can't paint every young man with the same brush just because a few took bad advice way too seriously.
I lost the guy that I loved and cared about to red pill content.
Oh, no.
Before he started watching this content, he was a sweet, nice man who treated me well and was charismatic, funny. And the moment he started watching this content, he completely changed. He started calling women bitches, whores, skanks. He became very, very angry almost all the time. And then eventually he ended things with me because he thought I was using him for money. Now, granted, there was one time where I did make a joke about how I wanted an old guy to take care of me, and I quickly regretted it and said I was sorry.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah. But I still cared about him. I would drive 30 minutes every day to see him. It wasn't just about the money. Because he's watching all this content, he thinks that all these women are trying to use him and all that stuff. And so he had a loving girl that cared about him and loved him and would stick by his side through anything. And then he eventually said this to me, and this was the final straw. Now, when I first started talking to him, not that it mattered, but he was over 270 pounds when I started talking to him. I did not care about his size. He then lost weight and then started fat shaming everyone around him. And today, actually, he said this to me. He called me a broke skank. And then said that I would ease back on the food. Your stomach's getting a little big. And I've never, my whole life, had a man speak to me like that. And here I was the week before, going out, and I was gonna go buy him a present for his birthday. And for him to turn around and call the girl that cared about him and loved him a skank and fat, when he's one of the only guys that I've been with. In the beginning, it was totally opposite. He would compliment me, tell me how pretty I was, and laugh and make jokes, and like just this content, it just ruined him. And then I went on his page before we unfollowed each other, and I saw he was reposting like Andrew Tate and like David Goggins, and like almost all of his reposts were that. And then that's how I found out that he was in this red pill rabbit hole, and now I connected the dots.
Another woman out here blaming red pill content for her breakup, and then casually jokes, "I just want an older guy to take care of me." What's her boyfriend supposed to take away from that? If he'd said he wanted an older woman to spoil him, I doubt she'd be laughing. Sounds less like ideology ruined the relationship, and more like someone's dodging self-reflection by pointing fingers. Sometimes the problem isn't the content you consume, it's the mirror you refuse to look into.
Women are going to keep themselves bitter, broke, and angry because they are mad at men, and they have this movement called decentering men. I don't think that it's new, but it's definitely a movement that is catching more waves called decentering men, where basically women are saying that they are removing men from the center of their lives, and they're not considering them. They don't care about them. They don't want to date them. They don't want to deal with them. They think that they're scary. He ain't lying. And all of this other dumb shit, because they think that men are a monolith, when in reality it's the culture a lot of times that keep you broke. And it also keeps you dating the same people that you don't want to take accountability for the person that you opened up your legs to and had a child with, and now you got the results, and certain men don't want to deal with you and you're not getting the results that your mother or your grandmother had, and now you want to blame them and saying that they were under duress. In reality, they were happy and they had strong families, and it translated into a strong economy and a great neighborhood, and we tore it up and we decided that we want to remove the family, and now we want to have children out of wedlock. And then they're using red pill as an excuse for why they want to be angry instead of dealing with their trauma.
Yes.
And for the people in the back, in which I don't consider myself at all, not even remotely, as a red pill content creator. I've been successfully married. I have majority women employees for over 20 years. Successfully married for over 20 years. I'm majority employer women. I have a daughter that's awesome, and my wife is black, for everybody that keeps saying, "Hey, Anton, do you got a white wife?" I don't. Red pill is just removing a veil from men's eyes to the reality of what they got to deal with in society, especially when it comes to relationships. It comes from the movie The Matrix, where the blue pill kept you in La La Land, where essentially you were given a perception of what reality is so that they can harvest you and use you as a battery. When in reality, if you took the red pill, if your mind was ready, it basically shows you that everything ain't all peaches and cream.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
This is the reality. It doesn't mean hate women. It doesn't mean that anybody is angry. And of course there are going to be angry people, and I hate angry people on the far left or on the far right, whether it's politics or relationships. Anybody that's extremes in their view and not just talking about the reality and the truth, they're not good for society. But the reason why we're broken is because we don't have strong households. That is the number one way that you bring up community, and that you actually make sure that everybody and a dollar and strong people, and people go to college and they don't have debt and all of this stuff. But instead of us dealing with our trauma and dealing with the truth, we want to blame it on red pill. We want to blame it on a lot of different things. But one day you're going to wake up. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, you know what? All of these funky, evil people actually led me down the path of destruction. And instead of me holding myself accountable, instead of me being honest with who I am, I decided that I wanted to blame it on a whole nother group of people, and that don't necessarily translate. At some point, you have to take ownership and responsibility. And I'm not telling you that you got to go back to men, because men don't care. What I am telling you is that you don't want to wake up broke, angry, and hungry because you made the wrong decision of who it is that you wanted to follow.
This guy actually broke down red pill content really well. It's not about being bitter, hostile, or disrespectful toward women. At its core, it's about perspective, self-improvement, and seeing dynamics in relationships for what they really are, not what we wish they were. The hate, that's on certain people, not the philosophy itself.
So my husband actually interviewed these red pill guys on their podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the fuck even cares. But it was so funny because he actually called them out on their shit and their like stupid fucking beliefs, and how they say that they're helping men when actually what they say is like really detrimental and damaging, especially to young impressionable men.
Hey, shut your mouth.
Who are getting their intellectual stimulation more so from podcasts than books, literature, news, or sports. Because he went at them, the red pill guys, like fans, were attacking him afterwards, found pictures of us, and because I'm like objectively attractive You know, they were saying that we couldn't possibly have got together in a natural kind of way, or like in the wild, like it must have been an arranged marriage. Like that's where that whole arranged marriage rumor started, or just like making up all sorts of stuff when it wasn't even true. And I can tell you, like, if you're a young guy listening to this, you don't have to be super tall, you don't have to be tall, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be spending hours at the gym. He wasn't at the peak of his career when we got together at all. He was really like in the early stages. So it just goes to show you that like that narrative is really dangerous. And I don't mean to laugh, but I'm just laughing because like it just like
Just say it!
broke their brain trying to understand like someone that they consider pretty or attractive could be with someone that respects women and likes women and like doesn't believe in their beliefs. Like it just like broke their brain.
That's a lie.
So it just goes to show you that you can actually be nice, a gentleman, like do acts of service and buy gifts and do all this stuff for your girl and have like a partnership really with mutual respect. And if he doesn't like something, he pushes back on me, and if I don't like something, of course you guys know I push back.
Shut up, bitch!
I still don't get why this lady felt the need to tell us about her husband, who went on a podcast just to grill two well-known red pill guys, and then she drops this line: "I'm objectively attractive." Ma'am, that is an opinion, not a fact. But coming right after calling out content that challenges her worldview sounds less like insight and more like ego wrapped in moral superiority. Honestly, her whole take screams happy wife, happy life energy, like her husband's bending over backward while she's out here blaming ideologies instead of looking in the mirror. Just saying.
So I got a question for the women who come on these podcasts, right? First of all, I'm going to say this and I'm going to always stand on it. I've never seen a red pillar that I like.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These red pill alpha males are corny. Always have been, always will be. Now, the common thing I see with these shows are they round up these girls, get them at the table. They're normally the smartest guys in the room, and they trash these women. Insult, disrespect, degrade, all of the above. And they just sit there and take it. Now, my question is this: is the need for clout greater than the need for one's self-respect? Because all of these shows, when you go to their Instagram site, whatever site they're promoted on, it says in the bio, if you want to be on the show, email us, DM us. Now, I'm going to safely assume all these women have seen these shows. It would be foolish to go on a show that you've never seen before. No one just goes on a random show that they don't know what it's about and say, hey, I'm here.
Hello. Yes, I'm in the hood. Gotcha.
So with this knowledge, knowing that all they do every show is trash women, disrespect them, degrade them, embarrass them, why would you ever consider even joining the set? Is the desire that great to get your brand out there, to promote your website? Is the need that much that you're willing to let men talk to you like an animal?
Yes!
Just to promote your page? We are living in strange times. Why not just make your own lane so you don't got to go on these platforms where they do this to women? If your plan is to go on these red pill alpha male platforms to further yourself and your brand, then you are working backwards. Never, never, ever, ever sacrifice your self-respect for clout. Respectfully, of course. No.
So this guy's confused about why women even appear on Red Pill podcasts if they end up feeling disrespected. Fair question, but let's be real. Most of the time, they're not there for debate or discourse. They're promoting their OF accounts. And let's just say academic credentials aren't usually the main qualification for those guest spots. Doesn't mean all women who engage with that world are the same, but the ones showing up for clout or cash aren't exactly there to challenge the philosophy.
With women demonizing red pill content now, I'm seeing that they're trying to almost act like it's a terroristic group or it's a woman-hating, woman-bashing group. They're doing it because now men are waking up. They're waking their game up. Even some of the simps is waking their game up. When we was growing up, we didn't have access to this type of content. We didn't have access to successful men giving us life advice on women, on business, at your fingertips, like just in your phone. You can get the type of game that you're supposed to get from your dad, from hundreds of men now from all walks of life, from all races, and women are starting to no longer have the upper hand because men is like, oh no, I learned about this.
You're goddamn right.
Oh no, I learned about this. But they don't have to bump their heads
that's a fact.
and get that heartbreak to pick up on the red flags. The game is there now. So now your first girlfriend, you see it. Oh shit, Andrew Tate said this. Oh shit, Mr. Varro said that. Oh shit, the Messiah said this. Yeah. Oh shit, Kylie told me about that. So now men have the upper hand and women are furious.
I agree. It feels like both some women and some men are painting red pill content as this universally toxic, woman-hating ideology, when in reality, it's being twisted to fit a narrative. Like any school of thought, it's got nuance, but nuance doesn't go viral. So instead of engaging with what it actually says, they turn it into a boogeyman to justify their own take. Convenient? Sure. Accurate? Not always.
The reason why I knew I needed to get a divorce was because I have a crystal clear memory of me having sex with my husband and thinking about this other guy.
Dirty hoe.
And me knowing in that moment I have to divorce him because if I don't get out of this marriage, I'm going to cheat on him. I'm going to try to find this.
Whore.
And I know that's really but I didn't want to be a cheater.
It's not. That's happened to me too.
This woman goes on a podcast and casually admits that while being intimate with her husband, she was mentally checked out, fantasizing about another guy. Honestly, if that's where your head was before or during marriage, maybe you should have hit pause way before saying, I do. Marriage isn't a fix for wandering thoughts. It's a commitment meant for people actually present in the relationship.
These men are middle-aged and they feel like they can't argue with women their own age. They don't ever bring academics onto their podcast. They always bring on like barely out of their teens or actually in their teens OnlyFans models.
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
And they have felt left behind by women their own age. And now they're terrified other men are also going to leave them behind. So what they're really doing is trying to keep all these other men and boys down with them in the trenches. And it's like, no, let them go, man. Like, it's your problem if you've got, don't gaslight everyone into thinking you're normal.
Are you quiet?
Look,
strong
we're
woman.
not asking
I thought you were a strong woman.
I hope you guys have a really good day. I'm leaving.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Hold on.
You don't look happy. Like, why are you like screaming on your podcast? There's pills for that. Like, go talk to a person in an office. Like, there's therapy for that. But instead, no, let's normalize the subjugation of women because we're telling men that they're too inept to grow.
What did that just mean?
I believe men can grow. I've seen men grow. Like I said, I've grown to look up to many men in my life. I believe in men. And the people who tell you women have to be down, like brought down, don't believe in you, don't like you, and are very, very dangerous.
I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
What an idiot.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did, and it significantly damaged my life. My concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray because I'm a walking example of it.
Here's another woman who's dead set against red pill content, but the way she's framing it feels less like honest critique and more like narrative building. She twists context, dismisses nuance, and acts like anyone who engages with the ideas is automatically toxic. At a certain point, it stops being about the content itself and starts looking like a performance, where the goal isn't understanding, but validation through outrage.
And I was staying with him in Vancouver, and something changed. And you want to know what changed?
What was
he started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit.
Oh my God!
Listening to content about MGTOW, and that man changed.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And I was sitting across from him and not understand the person that I was seeing. I felt like I was waking up to somebody that I did not know.
Oh my God.
I am qualified to talk about this shit. I am qualified to understand the repercussions that red pill content have on.
Sweetheart, you got to put the cope in the bag, all right? I'm going to let you know right now. If he was probably a loser before, clearly he was. I mean, you was, you had to go buy him a mattress. And then you put it in a Passat and you brought it to him. Like that was he needed you to build him up. I thought y'all said black women only do that, but I gotta break it to you, sweetie. If red pill content was able to influence your man at that time, your ex, when y'all were together, he was always that guy.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
sorry to tell you that. I know it's a strike to your ego, but he was always that lame. He was always a loser. If a grown man allowed people like Myron to infiltrate his brain waves and change his train of thought, he was always a loser. I am sorry. I know you probably didn't see it or wanted to believe it because you were chasing this dream of him becoming successful and becoming that millionaire because he was a producer, blah, blah, blah. That's what you was banking on. Ain't got shit to do with none of that other shit you was talking. That's what you was investing in. Nah, yeah, it's okay.
Gotcha, bitch.
But you just wasn't the girl that he wanted. And he was probably still a loser. Red pill content is not ruining a man, a grown-ass man. If he allows it to change his behavior, that's what he was already premeditated to be, sweetie. That's just what it is. Now, we talking about young men, teenagers, middle school age. Sure, I will give that. But that was a grown man. He was just a dork. If he could not watch, quote-unquote, red pill content and decipher a chain, he allowed it to change and alter his entire persona to a point where you say he was unrecognizable. Oh no, sweet, that okay.
Another woman blaming red pill content for why her man walked away. But let's be real, if a few YouTube videos or podcast episodes were enough to make him leave, he wasn't all that committed to begin with. A solid partner doesn't ditch a relationship because he heard a new opinion. He leaves because something was already off. Don't blame the content, blame the lack of foundation.
More and more women are reporting that as their partners watch more red pill content, they start reporting the changes that the men in their relationship are going through. One woman broke up with her man the minute he started watching Fresh and Fit. One of the women in this article says that her boyfriend fell deep into the red pill stuff, watching Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, MGTOW content, and eventually he ghosted her.
Wait, what?
And she wondered what the hell's going on. And he said he was using something called dread game, which is something in red pill spaces, which means you want to make the woman chase you. And it's more emotional manipulation than it is anything else. It's not attractive. If anything, it's the reason he doesn't have a relationship anymore. These women are saying things like, I don't recognize the man anymore after he started watching this stuff. There are countless stories of this. I have posted about it before. But what's unfortunate about red pill manosphere content is it's no longer just for the youth. It's no longer just for kids who were locked down in COVID and were just watching YouTube. There are married men who are falling for this.
Hey, I got a quarter. Call somebody who cares.
It's insane to me that you would throw your own relationship away because you're following the words of a man who probably isn't in a relationship. Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate, they are not in relationships. They don't know how to keep women happy. Thus, they try to make other men unhappy with them. And I've also posted in the past that Canadian lawyers are also seeing a wave of divorces, claiming that the men that they were with started watching red pill content and the relationship went to hell. So look out for the signs that your man is falling for this. Probably a telltale sign that the relationship is going to end unless you can snap them out of it. There are women in my comments who have said that their partner started watching it after the woman realized this. She had a talk with them and they ended up being able to pull it out. But it becomes something where you almost have to deprogram these men once they start going down this path. There are article after article of women who are finding that red pill is ruining their relationship, and this is just another example of it.
So this guy's breaking down an article where women are blaming red pill content for wrecking their relationships. If a man ditches a committed relationship just because he stumbled upon some online philosophy, the problem wasn't the content, it was his character. You don't lose a partner to an idea unless the connection was already on shaky ground.
Losing your girl because you became addicted to listening to men spew red-pilled rhetoric all day is actually one of the gayest things you could do as a man.
Excuse me?
What? Like, I don't understand how you're gonna diss red pill content, as you should, and then follow it with, like, red pill rhetoric. Obviously, like, there's a lot of homophobia in red pill. So it's like, and that's part of the reason it's criticized. Going to criticize it and then engaging in homophobia is crazy, but look how she defended it. Someone called her out. She said, I think if you obsess over men and seek their validation, this is pretty gay. I don't know why everyone's so upset by that. It's not an insult. It's just a matter of fact. For one, no, that's not how anything works. For one, no one ever makes these allegations for women. Someone was dating a man and she said, I started watching Shiro 7 Sprinkle videos, so now I want him to pay for everything.
Are you laughing, biatch?
Would not make that argument. You probably wouldn't care at all. Also, it's a very normal thing to want the approval of the group that you are a part of. I'm not pro red pill. That does not make it right. Acting as if men are supposed to just magically never want a man's approval is unreasonable. Because think about it. Women want other women to approve of them. Black people want other black people to approve of them. The thing is, there are people who are like, oh, like, I don't really care. And some don't really care. But most who say that probably are lying. It's like wanting everyone in your hometown to like you. Like, if you're a part of a group, you want the group to like you. I'll never understand, like, why this is, like, such a confusing concept to somebody.
So this woman claims that any man whose relationship falls apart after watching red pill content must be gay. Honestly, that's not just wrong, it's ignorant and reductive. Blaming someone's sexuality for their relationship struggles isn't insight, it's a cheap deflection. People's relationships end for all kinds of reasons, and conflating personal choices with sexual orientation says more about her lack of understanding than it does about the men she's trying to dismiss.
I just went down the rabbit hole of red pill content, and it's so crazy because the men who watch red pill content, they all have this same outlook where even if abuse is happening in the relationship, usually they're the abusers, right? Oh, hell no! That you have to stick around and you're taking the easy way out by getting a divorce. The easy way out. That is the easy way out. And you know, people today, they can't stick it out and be strong and create a marriage that's strong. They can't get through the tough times. The thing they don't understand is this isn't tough times they're putting us through, a lot of these men. It's straight up abuse, okay? There is a difference between going through hard times in a marriage and going through abuse.
Who the hell is this bitch?
There's a difference, but these guys who watch the red pill content, they don't understand that. They look at abuse as just going through hard times. No, you're being abusive. There is a huge difference. They don't get it. They don't get it. Just stick it out.
Another woman out here blaming red pill content for the abusive behavior of men she's dated. Let's be real. If someone's being abusive, that's on them, not an online ideology. You don't get to skip accountability by pointing at a podcast or a YouTube playlist. 100 women, 0 accountability fits this clip like a glove. Abuse comes from character, not content.
And another thing about the red pill content shit that everybody's trying to get away from, a lot of these young men grew up without dads, and the first time they heard a man say, respect yourself and demand respect from the people around you, was from red pill content.
No. Well, yes.
And so now a lot of times you see women getting online talking about, I lost my boyfriend, my fiance, my husband to red pill content because they had him trained. And for the first time in his life, he ran into like a boatload of content that was like, wait, I'm somebody and I don't have to listen to everything she says. And that's why you lost him.
Yes!
You lost your puppy dog. Like, I know he didn't walk in the house calling you the B word saying, shut up and listen to me. I know that didn't happen. He probably was like, hey, I don't like you hanging out with guys that I don't know. Like, that's probably what it was. And you were like, he's so insecure. Y'all need to really like expand upon the points you're making when you say you lost your man to red pill content, because I really want to know what he turned into. Genuinely, like, I need examples, because y'all never go deeper. Y'all always just be like, that's just not the man he was before. Interesting. I guarantee he started setting boundaries. I guarantee that's all it was.
This clip explains how some men, after engaging with red pill content, began to recognize patterns of control in their relationships and slowly chose to step away from marriages or partnerships that no longer serve them. Funny how that's framed as the problem. Like a man wanting mutual respect, genuine love, and a healthy dynamic is somehow wrong. Last I checked, seeking better for yourself isn't selfish, it's self-aware.
Stop watching red pill content. Now, fellas, red pill content is perfect if you want to self-improve, you want to better yourself as a man, you want to get your money right, you want to get your mindset right, you want to get your fitness right, you look smexing, you doing everything that you know how to be, and you learning the information to become the best man that you can be.
Okay. All right. Good talk, Coach. Thanks.
But when it comes to dating, tread it with a thin line and tread it with a developed mind. Don't allow yourself to take on all the characteristics and all the beliefs and all the ideas that a lot of the red pill ideology teaches guys like you, because you will f up your relationship if you come across a halfway decent lady. This is something that I did in my early 20s, a couple years ago. Met a wonderful woman. She cooked, cleaned, did everything that a man would want a woman to do. Was amazing. Everything that a man would want from a woman. But when you listening to that red pill ideology when it comes into terms of dating, you will start to think that women is this way, and as a man you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that.
What do you mean?
When the reality is, a lot of red pill dating coaches, a lot of red pill ideologies is teaching you how to operate and how to date shit women or shitty women. But once you come across a halfway decent lady or a halfway good lady or a good lady that's for you, you don't have to force anything. You don't need to know dating tricks or do this or say this or act this way in order for her to do this. Once a woman genuinely likes you and you come across a woman that's compatible with you and you meet a woman who has all the characteristics that you like within a man and y'all mesh together, flows in harmony. It's easy. It's easy for you to be with her. It's easy for you to deal with her. Yes, women have their issues. Women got their emotions and things of that nature.
Mental institution. Crazy. Bitch needs straight jacket.
But never allow yourself to find a decent lady and f it up because you stuck under that real pill ideology. Yes, always keep improving. Yes, always be the best version of yourself. Yes, always become better. Yes, always focus on improving and being the best man that you can be and never fall off. But don't you ever allow that red pill dating shit to correlate with good women. Shitty women, yes. But good women, that shit don't work and apply when it comes to them.
But content itself isn't poison. It's how you interpret and apply it that matters. For some, it's a wake-up call about boundaries, self-respect, and relationship dynamics. For others, it becomes an excuse for bitterness. The real issue isn't the message, it's the mindset you bring to it. Well, that's all I got for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more, click the video on the screen. Till next time.